Check your bags.
It covers 1,000 acres in our nation's capital.
Excuse me, which way is the bus to D.C.?
It handles flights from 84 different countries. It takes 10,000 employees to run it.
That's 425.
Unit 247.
It has its own police force to protect it.
Possible 283.
Each holiday season, 11,000 planes take off.
This is Delos Control Tower. Go ahead.
And 11,000 planes land.
I've got 230 people flying on petrol fuel.
But tonight, on Christmas Eve,
The tracking system's down.
Oh, God, no.
We need to land now.
it will all
Switch to
come
backup systems.
ILS landing system is down. Someone shut us down.
to a complete
They've
stop.
taken over the airport.
And one man is the only chance anyone's got.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
Bruce Willis, Die Hard 2. Die Harder. Opens June 29th.
Die Hard 2, or Die Hard 2 Die Harder, is a 1990 American action thriller film directed by Renee Harlin, written by Stephen E. D'Souza and Doug Richardson, co-produced by Joel Silver and starring Bruce Willis as John McClane alongside Bonnie Bedelia, William Sadler, Art Evans, William Atherton, Franco Nero, Dennis Franz, Fred Thompson, John Amos, and Reginald Vell Johnson. It is the second installment in the Die Hard film series and was released on July 4th, 1990 in the United States.
When you land, can we just rent a car,
Big drug dealer on his way to prison.
check into a hotel,
Gunfight at airport.
order some room service?
And you rocking the boat.
Shh, it's okay. I've done this before.
John McClane, he's got a little problem. Hell, let's shut down the whole fucking airport. Get down!
The same shit happened to the same guy twice. Things just get better or worse?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I never want to copy the first film if I'm making a sequel. I want to look at the first film, see what the people liked, and then put it in my package and serve it to people in another kind of a format.
If you're going to make a sequel, if you're going to make another Die Hard, it had better be a story with that kind of impact.
Let's say three guys on that side and the rest of the guys spread out.
Yeah.
Here. Okay, let's do another rehearsal. Okay. First reason that I was interested in this project was that we would try to do something different from the first film, yet keep the same basic elements, which are humor and action and excitement and suspense and kind of a family drama elements.
Yeah, this is Lieutenant McClane. Somebody that just beat me?
I'd like to think I'm somebody.
Honey.
It's not just a comic book cartoon action movie, but that the characters are real, they have real emotions, real feelings, real relationships.
Yeah, take that Twinkie out of your mouth and grab a pencil, will you?
We also kept some characters from the first movie to make it familiar for the people who saw the first movie.
You cannot put me near that woman.
He means he's filed a restraining order against me.
That woman assaulted me, and she humiliated me in public.
Of course, it's difficult sometimes to balance the humor when you're dealing with pretty gruesome things, death and accidents and so on. But I think we found the balance where Bruce Willis's character, John McClane, has this certain attitude about life.
No civilians.
He's pretty much an everyday kind of a guy who has his ideas about authority and police force and how things are run in this world.
You're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Story of my life.
We have snowmobile chases in the movie. We have big pyrotechnic effects. We have planes such as 747s crashing and exploding. So it's a combination of optical effects, miniatures, physical, mechanical effects, and so on.
Okay, let's go.
Our director, Rennie Harlan, shot movies in Finland where it's been 35 degrees below. So for him, at 12 degrees, he thinks he's in one of those Swedish saunas or something. It doesn't bother him at all.
We shoot a real plane landing, then we shoot miniatures actually crashing, and then we use real-life plane wreckage for the aftermath sequence where John McClane's character is walking past the burning wreckage and picks up a little doll from the ground and says she'll be the last victim they'll ever have.
Okay, let's cut. Let's go again.
Spread out towards me, folks. Everybody start taking steps towards me.
Rennie was great fun around the set. I remember one night we were sitting in the middle of Moses Lake, Washington. It's 3 in the morning and lit up the entire landscape as far as you can see in any direction. And there's armies, there are hundreds and hundreds of technicians and trucks rolling around and crews setting things up. And right in the middle of it, you know, at 20 degrees below zero is Rennie Harlin with his feet up on a chair, and he's sitting back like this. And I was standing next to him, and he turned to me and said, "It's kind of exciting, don't you think?" And that was kind of Rennie in a nutshell. It would have intimidated a lot of people, I think. You know, you could easily get freaked out that you can't find the snow, and there's so much money riding on this, and so on. But Rennie stayed very cool.
We couldn't go into an airport and say, "Excuse me, guys, we'd like to use your tower for a while. Maybe these planes can wait for us."
We have built some huge sets. We built the whole air traffic control tower on one stage and surrounded it with a gigantic miniature set where we see the runways and the airport terminal buildings.
The stage is about 130 by 207, I believe, and the tower takes up a certain amount of the back part, and then we put all of the rest of the airport out in this direction.
All these structures have been a huge effort for the production design and art direction team to actually physically build.
In this particular set, we went to an upstairs control tower so that we had having both sets accessible by the same scene, so we could walk up and down and all of that. Most of the equipment was built for the movie. Basically stayed with a realistic design of a approach control.
We had the same kind of ideas of what the look of and the design of the picture should be. It should be very modern, very high-tech looking.
The problem's all over.
What's it look like?
No lights.
Approach control, it's gone.
Jesus, instrument landing system is down.
Every goddamn system's dead.
McClane has just killed Baker with an icicle by the corner of this house.
Working with Bruce has been really great. He's a big star in real life, but he doesn't act like a star.
When McClane gets there, you'll be just coming through the woods.
So he's very friendly to everybody, whether it's crew or cast. He's a very giving actor. He helps the other actors who are in the scenes with him. And we spent a lot of time rehearsing and going through the script with him and seeing that everything works for his character. And he worked with me on the dialogue a lot.
Can we do a close-up of him when he finds the gun?
I think Rennie's great. I think he's doing a really good job. It's a hard task to try and top the first film. I think he's done it. I think this is a much larger film, a much more exciting film.
I hope that the audience will have a great roller coaster ride when they see Die Hard 2. That those people who saw the first movie will get everything they expected and much more. And those people who never saw the first one will go back to their local video store and check out what the first one was all about.
Hey, it's a restricted area. What's the matter? Take it!
So we're going to have him sliding up on this belt. We're going to put the squibs on the side of the belt. We're going to have one camera there as the POV of the guy who is shooting and pan with him. And then we're going to put another camera from here so we see Bruce, we see his face, and in the same shot we see the squibs.
Blast right here for that. And then 2 more. Boom. It looks like he could be up in this position. I see bang there, he drops down, he goes up, bang, bang.
This camera sees a lot of hits.
Put more.
Hey, put more on this side, Charlie. Give us some low hits for this camera. This kind of does the same.
spot. Be a good place for a funny line as far as trying to stick something in there. Any ideas? No, what I said was,
Yeah, listen.
can I just spend one Christmas Eve and not get shot at?
If they go there, I'm thinking, Ki here and the other kid here, and they hit like that, right? You're here. When they go over, you should wind up like that.
Down.
With the head, you see?
Right.
I think that'll work out. Bam! He drops his back, choking here, he takes this him over. Good. On that. Look at this guy. I got him here with an arm like him, he's kicking him here. Right. Out his back. And you got, as he's coming up, you put that one shot, he's backing him, Bruce.
Good.
And he's coming up with
left.
He's coming in, you be careful. And the guy is just on the ropes now. And in desperation, he just stops it here, takes it and you're going.
I like that. You stay tight enough in here, you're not going to know what you're looking at when you go up there.
Oliver, I think you're too realistic now. I think if in one shot the beams are a little bit different, nobody's going to notice.
I liked what I saw up to there.
Just give me this. Just give me this again. When he throws you over, you go out of frame there, you go out of frame on that one, and then
kabang right here.
Bang in here. We have to figure that out. We can figure it out though.
And then camera goes with you guys this way and this way on the belt, and you're just like.
Raise it up. Right there.
And roll, please.
Stick. Can't you get back further? If you can.
My heads go off behind the other way. The first two, then he moves forward.
Is this okay?
Whoa. Okay. Okay. It's a little wide though. Huh? A little wide? Wide. Yeah. Tight. Okay.
Stand by to roll now.
Very quiet. We're going to have bullet hits and full load gunfire. Protect your eyes and ears. And roll, please.
Action. Beautiful. Perfect. Cut. Good. Woo! Excellent.
Action!
Go for the second swing. Way off.
I'm in here. Does that look, does that look pretty? I would feel a lot better about it if you put a pad on. I would feel.
Put it on.
What's better for camera?
I'm gonna drop up in here.
Yeah.
They don't see it. He can get up that high, but he's afraid to make the contact. We can make that work like go. Boom! See? I don't want to make too much contact on it. If you can make that much, it's okay.
Yeah. See if we gotta work that out though.
Yeah, you gotta work out with Bruce, yeah. No, I know it.
Still getting hard.
Can you hit me right in here?
It can if you open up a little more this way. Now he can. Now he can.
Right.
Bang! Now you can do it. You just open up a little bit. Yeah. And Bruce, just give him about that much more room that way if you can. On the second hit.
Don't crowd him. All right.
Don't crowd him.
Want to do it? So we go. So you're on your mark now?
I'm on my mark.
Bang! Back up.
Now,
That's it. That's good.
Is that good? Or should I be a little farther away from you?
Yes. Yeah, right there.
Okay. So get on your mark.
Yes, sir.
Here's the first hit.
Wham! Go back up. And right there, it's a cut there. 43, hey, Mark. You right, Billy? Is that Billy? Yeah.
Right, throw a straight shot.
Like that, yeah.
Okay, so.
Right from the shoulder. Right at it. Bang, right at it. Go right for his face. Bang.
So here, come here.
Right here, right here. Boom! That's it. Just get it. Okay. 3.
The first film was really kind of contained in this one building, and there was a certain sense of claustrophobia in that. This film is up in the air, in the airport, outside the airport, out on the the runway. It's just expanded a lot more. The snow actually turned out to be one of the characters in the film. We had to move 3 or 4 times we had to kind of chase the snow. That was really, the challenge for us, was to see whether or not we could match or top what we did in this huge action film called, Die Hard, and I think we've surpassed that.
It really just goes to your stomach and pulls you into it.
You're not quite sure who's wearing the black hat or the white hat.
It's just like cowboys and Indians, modern day cowboys and Indians.
I thought the first Die Hard was one of the hardest things I'd ever tried to do. But then I realized when I got into this one that the first one was a piece of cake.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
I am once again in a place that happens to be taken over by terrorists.
Instrument landing system is down.
Backup systems won't come up. We've got blizzard conditions. 0 visibility.
Every system's dead.
These guys shut us down.
We just about maybe 2 hours. After that, those planes low on fuel aren't going to be circling. They're going to be dropping on the White House lawn.
It really closely parallels the whole, Manuel Noriega thing.
You got the world's biggest drug dealer on his way here now. What do you need, a slide rule to figure this out?
He wants to take charge of the situation. He wants to handle things his own way.
Who the hell is this?
Who I am is unimportant. What I want is very important.
We don't need a loose cannon on this deck.
He's got this great twinkle in his eye.
Oh, we are just up to our neck in terrorists again, John.
You're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Story of my life. He's not bound by any of the red tape or the badges or the clearances.
You get the hell out of my office before I throw you out of my damn airport.
This is how I spent Christmas last year.
Same old cranky guy. Well, one of the things that we tried to do in both these films is present a character that is not invincible, that is vulnerable, both physically and emotionally.
Your wife's plane? They're going to run out of fuel in 90 minutes.
What are you gonna do?
Whatever I can.
Willis wants to do his stunts himself, and sometimes Charlie and I have to calm him down and tell him not to do them because we want to keep him alive and well so that we can shoot also the following day.
We have a scene where we actually fly a real helicopter over the wing of a real 747, and I jump out of it onto the wing, and we proceed to have a huge fight with 2 different guys on the wing of a moving 747. I don't think that's ever been done. There's only one way to really make it look like you're trying to kill someone, and that is to try and kill them. Die Hard 2, Die Harder. Bigger, badder, louder.
Is this what you expected?
No. This is just the beginning.
We were in some high altitude. It's 12 degrees or worse below zero. You don't work fast in cold weather.
It's been a very tough movie in a sense that there's a snowstorm going on in the movie all the time. Whenever we are outside, we have to have the whole nature blanketed with snow and snow in the air.
The movie has a lot of big sets. When you're dealing in the scale of an airport, every set seems to become enormous.
It really just goes to your stomach and pulls you into it.
You're not quite sure who's wearing the black hat or the white hat.
Just like cowboys and Indians, modern day cowboys and Indians.
I thought the first Die Hard was one of the hardest things I'd ever tried to do, but then I realized when I got into this one that the first one was a piece of cake.
Christmas in L.A., a strange way to spend the holiday season. You might remember John McClane. He celebrated with a bang. Die Hard made Bruce Willis an international movie star.
You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, Hans. Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
It grossed over $200 million worldwide.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza?
But most importantly, it blew audiences through the back wall of the theater.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother.
That was really, the challenge for us was to see whether or not we could match or top what we did in this huge action film called, Die Hard.
The challenge seemed overwhelming and devastatingly difficult to accomplish. You just have to die harder.
318 take 4, it came over.
Die harder. Sound impossible? It almost was. The story of the making of Die Hard 2 is a saga almost as exciting as the movie itself. In the next half hour, we'll show you why.
Is this what you expected?
No. This is just the beginning.
It's another year, another place, another Christmas. But it's the same old John McClane.
Cut me some slack, will you? Look, I used to be a cop in New York City. I only moved to L.A. because my wife took a job there. Come on, what do you say?
Bags over here.
Come on, man, it's Christmas.
So where's Santa Claus to give you another car? Merry Christmas, pal.
This time he's in Washington, D.C.
It's all yours, Murray.
Waiting at the airport for his wife to fly in so they can spend Christmas with the in-laws.
Listen, honey, when you land, can we just rent a car, check into a hotel, we'll leave the kids with your parents, order some room service, a bottle of champagne. What do you say?
You're on, Lieutenant.
It was going to be the perfect holiday until a group of former U.S. Army commandos turned mercenaries arrive at the airport to launch a diabolical attack.
Was tight today at Escalon Airport in the Republic of Valverde.
Their mission, to free a deposed military strongman heading to stand trial in America.
Fire it up.
Yeah. I hear you. The problem's all over.
What's it look like?
No lights.
Approach control. It's gone. Instrument landing system is down.
Attention, Dulles Tower. Who I am is unimportant. What I want, well, if you don't want those planes to start splashing into the Potomac as they run out of fuel, what I want is very important.
Your wife's plane? Well, they're still broadcasting, even though we can't answer. They're going to run out of fuel in 90 minutes.
And once again, a vacationing John McClane is forced into action. But this new turn of events leaves the sharpshooting LA cop pondering one inescapable question.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
If at times the odds confronting John McClane seem almost insurmountable,
We are just up to our neck in terrorists again, John.
the challenge confronting the crew of Die Hard 2 was only slightly less Herculean. The first, and perhaps the most pervasive challenge they faced, was the not-so-simple matter of the cold.
Okay, let's go.
This is logistically probably one of the hardest films that has ever been made here.
Keep moving around, folks. Keep moving around.
We've been averaging 10 degrees below, 15 below zero for a lot of nights now. It's just cold out here. The crew has worked incredibly hard on this thing under probably the most adverse conditions that anybody's ever worked under. It's a very serious situation.
It was so cold up in Denver that everybody bought these huge Arctic space suits, and the result was that nobody could tell who is who because everybody just looked like these mummies walking around.
Our director, Rennie Harlan, is from Finland, so he's used to the cold. He just keeps working along, and the rest of us are trying to get used to it.
I think for the crew it was much tougher because they are all Southern California wimps and they couldn't take it.
Let's just go right away, real fast, one more time.
Okay, resetting. It's the snow.
A snowy blizzard is an integral part of the Die Hard 2 story, and that means every time we're outside, every time we look outside, every time we even think about outside, it's got to be a blizzard. But finding cold weather didn't necessarily mean finding snow.
And sometimes the snow would just melt the moment we start shooting. We would land there, put our cameras up, and the snow will melt.
Cameras don't roll until I tell you, okay? You gotta wait for the snow to get here.
The snow actually turned out to be one of the characters in the film, and we had to move 3 or 4 times to we had to kind of chase the snow.
I think it was easier to invade Normandy than it is to get this thing shot.
All right. Just stay here and get ready to call the Marines. I thought they were the Army.
Okay, open the doors, please, for a second. Open the doors.
Major Grant, we're blue light.
Rollins, Department of
Trudeau, Chief of Air Operations.
Lorenzo, Terminal Police. You want something? You got it. Bozo, in charge of the clowns.
Hey, what's happening, Bozo? I ain't seen you since Whitman Brothers,
It's
brother.
been a while, hasn't it?
Finally, when temperatures rose and the last snow melted, the need for on-screen flakes didn't dissolve with it.
We had Fox Studio buy for us a rather large ice chipping machine that chews up 300-pound blocks of ice in seconds. And we must have had a dozen 40-foot trailers loaded with 300-pound blocks of ice. Spread out. And as the 40-foot trailer moved along, the guys were holding on to that hose, and we were blowing chipped ice.
With weather conditions worsening, the problem here and in the sky above us will continue to grow.
Warm outdoor weather and large indoor sets required an avalanche of artificial snow. Concerned about the environment, the producers insisted that these flakes be biodegradable.
We used various types of plastic snow. We used foam, we call it JetX system. I've even resorted to going to a soap factory and having them take the soap part out of the flake they make and produce for me a flake big enough that looks like snow, just for ecological reasons.
Just as this storm starts breaking, the satellite feed up and drops the other shoe on. Look at this new front moving in. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen enough snow to last me a lifetime.
Still have some snow in my ear.
To appreciate the enormity of their task, Watch the following sequences closely. It required filming in 8 different locations to create the illusion of this single scene.
Come to Papa, scumbag.
Coming up next, the secrets behind the dazzling special effects and spectacular stunts of Die Hard 2. There are many possible ways to die harder, but the greatest challenge of all was to die bigger.
It's a big picture. Big, big, big.
The sheer scope and staggering premise of Die Hard 2 created a unique set of problems for the talented production team. And none was larger than the task of constructing a major metropolitan airport, complete with a 10,000-foot runway, all within the confines of a soundstage 200 feet long.
We first had to figure out the scale of an actual airport, and then shrink it down to the size it would fit in the stage. There's really a gag in here where all the runway lights go out. They're turned off by the terrorists. We had to be able to build that in model form. There was no other way of doing it because of the snow problems. We couldn't make snow in front of an optical effect.
Go to emergency lighting, now.
Emergencies. We are in a code yellow.
Backup systems won't come up.
Sent to another terminal.
Bobby, what do you got?
Please respond, please respond.
Nothing, the whole network is down.
We built the whole air traffic control tower on one stage and surrounded it with a gigantic miniature set where we see the runways and the airport terminal buildings and hangars and planes taking off and landing.
So what's going on? I'm on a road.
Azure Sky, maintain position. Repeat.
From the largest sets to the most minute details, even the control tower instruments were redesigned to heighten their visual cinematic impact.
This is what would be the TRACON room, the approach control facility of the airport. We built this up to simulate where the traffic would be handled.
What's going on down there?
Roger, we're on it. We're on
Western, we're unable right now. Please delay.
Fuji 604, execute published missed approach procedure and hold.
We had to create all that software for it in a graphics program for a computer. It's quite an involved process just to get a little information on the screen.
600 feet.
Activate the ILS landing system, but recalibrate sea level. Minus 200 feet. Attaboy, we've got you. We've got you.
They'll fly right into the concrete.
And what airport would be complete without airplanes? Customized, of course.
They have a full-scale wing of a 747 that we've been shooting on.
We are rolling into Close the flap, close the flap.
Making those planes fly was a mission requiring the technical assistance of the special effects wizards at the Industrial Light and Magic Workshop.
Basically, we're just laying down a huge carpet of smoke, and we're hoping that the wind will come back so that the wind will just carry that carpet of smoke off down the runway. Bring the front of the shot picture right there and reach over. We can probably reach the same distance, can't we?
Let's go down and talk to Dickie about that.
Even if we back up, we hang the airplane up above the smoke. The airplane doesn't move, but since the smoke is moving underneath it, the camera doesn't know the difference. It looks like we're flying among the clouds. There we go. Better.
It's called sci-fi acting, is what we call it. It's reacting to things that aren't there. Looking out the plane window and what, you know, obviously the illusion is when you see the film that there are clouds going by the window and I'm going to be on an airplane. And in fact, I'm looking out the window at a bunch of grips, you know, blowing smoke and, you know, waving things and, you know, blinking lights. And
Cut. Good.
He's getting a little too low.
I was just wondering, this flight originally was supposed to be 5.5 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have enough fuel to keep circling like this?
Oh, of course. They anticipate little problems like this.
I think the thing I have loved most about working on these Die Hard movies is I really feel like I'm participating in that Hollywood, legendary Hollywood illusion.
But the real fun came when it was time to blow up the planes.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you've probably noticed, we've started our descent. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but we'll all be on the ground in a few minutes.
But before the final explosion could be filmed, it required several tests, like this one, for the crash of a mythical British airliner.
This is the third test we did. We did a few more up in Northern California just to get an idea of what mixture we wanted.
Approach flaps. Approach flaps.
And now it's just a matter of how often or how quickly the bombs are going to go off.
Approach speed 140.
Approach speed 140.
The editors will get, you know, a couple more cuts out of it, a little more drama.
Watch this.
We shoot a real plane landing. Then we shoot miniatures actually crashing. And then we use actual real-life plane wreckage for the aftermath sequence.
If you think blowing up a plane is exciting, it can sometimes pale in comparison to the many outrageous action-packed stunts that have become a signature trademark of the Die Hard series.
And at the end of the chase, there's a big, giant mogul. It's kind of near a highway. And he jumps this big hill to get away from them. And as he does, he goes over a truck. And as he does that, they're firing at him. They blow the snowmobile up, and he gets blown off it. In other words, as he's jerked off the bike, he trips the explosion, and off he goes. And it blows up at the same time. So it's kind of a spectacular stunt. Boom! It's just like that. Gets a hit on first. Boom! That's better. Oh.
Bruce Willis wants to do his stunts himself.
Right here, right here. Boom! That's it.
Charlie and I have to calm him down and tell him not to do them because we want to keep him alive and well so that we can shoot also the following day.
Take it! Bullet hit where? Right here over my head here? When the bullet hits go off here, I'm gonna go, boom, you lose me? Can we see it again one more time?
There's only one way to really make it look like you're trying to kill someone, and that is to try and kill them.
He's got a way with a gun going down, right?
Okay. Does that look, does that look pretty? I would feel a lot better about it if you put a pad on.
If I come up with another one just like this, where would you kick me?
Well, you have to turn it
here.
And they hit like that, right? You're
right
here. When they go over, you should wind up like that.
Down.
Oh, I bet it hurts. But it's pretty great.
Freeze! Nice guess. I'm a cop. That was a bad guy.
He's very cautious, very careful about what he does.
But for the most part, Bruce Willis is running around. He's got his hands full with stunts.
We have a scene where we're We actually fly a real helicopter over the wing of a real 747.
Not a cowboy ride too rough?
I don't like to fly.
Then what are you doing here?
I don't like to lose either. Bring it in low! Keep over the wing!
And I jump out of it onto the wing, and we proceed to have a huge fight with two different guys on the wing of a moving 747. I don't think that's ever been done.
When the challenges have been met and the problems overcome, hard work and creativity can turn a logistical nightmare into a high-flying cinematic triumph like this.
We had to not take ourselves so seriously. I mean, we're really asking the audience to kind of buy into the fact that this huge coincidence happens, that I am once again in a place that happens to be taken over by terrorists, and I think we ask the audience to kind of just come along with us again.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Oh! Get out of the way!
Shh, it's okay. I've done this before.
Now you're the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Story of my life.
The cast and crew of Die Hard 2. You've seen their dedication. You've witnessed the scope of some of the challenges they conquered. In the end, the making of Die Hard 2 is proof positive that when it comes to creating action, adventure, and excitement, only the sky is the limit.
How many grenades we got?
3 each! Use them!
Last time, it blew you through the back wall of the theater. This time, it will blow you out of your seat. And where does John McClane go from here?
I don't really know where to go. I mean, the only thing that he could do after this would maybe be to save the planet.
The runway.
Son of a bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Manuel Noriega type is extradited to the United States to stand trial.
You talking about a hijacking, a robbery, or what?
An elite team of terrorists tries to snatch him out of Dulles Airport.
They're not very nice people.
The only people to go to this much trouble are professionals.
Backup systems won't come up.
Attention Dulles Tower. If you don't want those planes to start splashing into the Potomac as they run out of fuel, what I want is very important.
You got the world's biggest drug dealer on his way here now. What do you need, a slide rule to figure this out?
The terrorists take over the whole airport, the air traffic control tower, the radar control, so they can basically totally overrule the existing tower there.
Any attempt to restore your systems will be met by severe penalties.
McClane, we don't need any Monday morning quarterbacks. Fuck Monday morning. My wife's on one of the goddamn planes.
Recalibrate sea level. Minus 200 feet.
Jesus Christ, he's gonna crash the fucking plane!
You're in the glide path and you're looking good. Atta boy, we've got you.
Damn it, you can't do this.
I am doing this.
God bless.
We've got you.
This what you expected?
No. This is just the beginning.
What makes it fun about playing the villains in these things, that you can't have a great hero unless he's up against something monumental. And the bigger and more dangerous the threat, the more remarkable his overcoming it.
They are pretty ruthless. They're pretty intelligent people, too. As proven by the fact that they've done some technological sabotage.
Instrument landing system is down. Every goddamn system's dead.
People came up to me afterwards and say, I hated you in Die Hard 2. I wanted, and it's like the greatest compliment you can pay it. That is the job. You have to hate that man. You have to hate hate what he stands for and everything that he's about. The better you do that, the more satisfying it is for the audience at the end when it goes, yes! You know, he gets it in some awful, awful way.
Most films, you can tell right away who the bad guys are and who the good guys are.
Major Grant, we're blue light.
In this case, you're not quite sure who's wearing the black hat or the white hat.
Come to the coast, we get together, have a few laughs.
When I saw the first Die Hard, I was very impressed the way it's been shot and how good was the villain.
I just never seen anything like it, and the way that they built the tension and the way that Alan Rickman created this wonderful, sort of funny, dangerous human.
Don't get me, please, please.
Whoa, relax.
They are very different from what the first film was. This time we are dealing with very pure American men. We have a group of elite military officers who have been fired from the army. They try to take over. They have no other profession. Fighting and planning wars is all they can do and all they know about.
Colonel Stewart is such a completely, 180 degrees away from the character that Alan played. He's not funny, so we had to go in another direction entirely. We decided to go with this sort of insane strength. He's like a well-trained pit bull or something that's gone berserk.
How many grenades we got?
He's so thoroughly trained, so disciplined, so good at what he does. You can't stop that kind of machine.
We wanted to make it very timely.
The situation in some of the Central American countries that are relying very heavily on the drug product, we make a statement about that.
There are some comparisons to characters like Noriega being the leader of these men who decide to take over.
You get the lace sweep, it's like, Lord, I'm fucking, it's like.
I actually only had 2 scenes with Bruce in the movie. One where I bump into him in the airport.
Excuse me.
And one where I beat the crap out of him on the wing of the plane. We didn't get close, like chummy, because it would have made it harder.
Well, you look really familiar to me.
You want this hatred and negative energy and so on flowing between them. You want the sparks to fly. It's hard to step away from your good buddy and your chum and say, okay, ready? So we sort of kept this professional distance. Villains don't usually get fan mail, but I did. Mostly about the nude scene. I came in for a fitting, and when I said, where's the costume for the scene in the hotel where he's doing the Tai Chi? And Rennie turned to me and he said, well, Bill, I was thinking maybe he would be nude. And I said, that was the first I'd heard of it. And I said, and I told him, well, get me a trainer and push this scene off to the end of the film so I don't want to watch this when I'm 60 years old and say, God, I wish I'd done a few sit-ups, look at that. The anticipation is worse than the actual doing of it. People ask me, was it a big deal? Well, getting ready for it was a huge deal. I wanted it to look right. I wanted to be able to sell this character, and it's a great opening for a character. The movie's 5 minutes old now, and suddenly you're cut to a man with no clothes on fighting with invisible opponents. We would take up every single motel within 50, 60 miles.
Action!
It was this gigantic army of people and money and machinery and, writers and studios and stars and so on. Hundreds and hundreds of people had gathered and were doing their jobs. And the whole thing was focusing down and down and down to this one little moment in front of the camera, in your eye, between myself and Bruce Willis, or myself and John Amos. That's what this was all boiled. That's what we had all come for. That was great fun. It was sort of like playing in, it's the Super Bowl of action movies.
Like entertainment tonight. Try to throw the flakes out into various patterns. No snowflake is alike.
Would you do another one?
Another Die Hard?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What do you look for in the thing?
I was trying to get him to kill me in this one. I wanted my character to be killed off in this one. They wouldn't let me do it. They said no.
If they came at you and said we want to do Die Hard 3, would you consider it?
I don't know if there's anything to do. I mean, we're still trying to figure out how to make this one better than the first film. I don't think so. But who knows? Ask me a couple years from now.
This plastic snow is very delicate.
I think the challenge in this film really is to see if we can make a better movie. I mean, we made a pretty good movie the first time, and it is challenging to see if you can top yourself. These films are just big, very expensive cartoons, but they're very entertaining as well. And we try and make them as scary and as thrilling and as much of a roller coaster ride as we can. The first movie was pretty much contained inside of that one building. This thing's all over the place. It's at Washington Airport. It's up in a plane. It's at locations outside of the thing. And the stunts are a lot bigger. It's on a larger scale.
How many of the stunts do you do yourself?
I do the ones that I feel comfortable with. I do what's safe. I'm getting older now.
Did you say after the other one that you were concerned about going up in high-rise buildings? Nah. No, you never said.
I don't think so.
No. Movie's over.
Well, John, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Or have you completely lost track of time by now?
I'm getting a little fuzzy. I don't even know what day it is at this point, but I'll keep pushing if you will.
It's Father's Day. Should you be home celebrating Father's Day?
I should be, but first priority with a father is to make that tuition money for the kids, so this is what I'm doing today.
Well, listen, I think you guys have got the tuition made for maybe a couple of years at least after this film.
Thank you.
I want to get one thing straight, John, about your character, because I have conflicting evidence. Is he a major or is he a captain?
He is a major. As of now, he's a major. If we don't do big grosses next weekend, he could be a captain, But I'm hopeful that he'll be a general before the deal is over, yeah.
Okay. You have a spectacular scene. Now, it may be the most spectacular scene in the movie, although I hate to categorize it. You have a spectacular scene, you and Bruce Willis, on the wing of this 747. Now, tell me everything that you can tell me about that scene.
Without divulging too much about the character?
Whatever.
I did my own stunts for the scene. 2, I was very, very sore for several days afterwards. I spent a few days in the whirlpool recovering. 3, it was exciting to be involved in an action sequence like that. And I think part of it was the male ego and the male machismo, because when I saw Bruce doing his own scenes and being slammed around and diving off of things, he's from New Jersey, he's a former athlete, I'm from New Jersey, I'm a former athlete. I said, if he can do it, I can do it. There's an appreciable difference in our ages, and I paid for that appreciable difference over the course of the next couple of weeks. But it came off all right, and I was really pleased with the way it looks. I mean, it's obviously a big, big picture, and this is a big, big scene in the picture.
Was it at any time frightening for you to do it?
Yeah, it was, quite frankly, it was dangerous. This was a full-scale model of the wing of a 747. And when there were a couple of points at which I was hanging from the wing of the plane, and I was very apprehensive about whether or not I was going to live to see either of the kids graduate from college. So I was pleased to survive the picture, much less to have it come off as well as it did.
John, you started your professional career as a stand-up comedian, right? Right. Okay. Now, could you ever have envisioned at that time, when you're out there doing stand-up comedy, that you would end up doing this kind of picture and this kind of acting?
Not really envision it. Maybe way in the back of your mind, you're hoping that somehow you'll be able to get a job where you can act and be funny or do whatever it is you think you've got the ability and gifts to do. But what happens is the longer you stay in the business, and the more you cultivate and nurture whatever gifts it is that God has given you, the more confidence you develop. And my confidence that I do have is a direct result of the years of experience that I've acquired now. I do like to work on stage, which I think is one of the greatest confidence builders. Confident almost to the point that some people have regarded me as being arrogant, but it's not arrogance at all. It's really a confidence that's predicated on experience, and I think there's an appreciable difference. I never envisioned myself being in a co-starring in a big action picture the way this has finally happened. I'm not knocking it. I'm pleased as hell. I'm proud as punch and pleased as hell to be in it. But I never envisioned it happening just quite the way it did.
Stand-up comedy, like everything else, has changed so much through the years. Are you just, what, outraged, appalled, or what, at people like Andrew Dice Clay?
Well, let me say this. Andrew, and I'd be a hypocrite if I said otherwise. I understand something about Andrew. I'm a fan of his. I understand that he's doing a character. And I guess what surprises me most about the fact that so many people are upset is the fact that they don't realize that he's doing a character. I saw him very early on in his career, and I anticipated then, I said, he's going to make it, but he's going to have a problem differentiating himself from that character. And he's going to have to suffer all the concomitant problems that come with successfully developing a character like that. I wouldn't have any reservations at all about working with him. I've gone to see his show a number of times when he's played locally and in New York, and I appreciate what it is he's doing. I could never do that type of an act myself because I don't come out of that bag. I am doing a one-man show in which I'm on stage for 2 hours. I'm portraying an 87-year-old man. It's material like him, like Andrew Dice Clay has written for himself, that I've written for myself. He may employ other writers, but this piece I've written totally myself. But it's a piece that, while his play is literally deluged with profanity and obscene suggestions or whatever is construed as obscene, mine doesn't have any profanity in it. So I'm not passing judgment on Andrew. I like him as a person. I respect him as an artist. And I know what it is he's doing. And I wish him the best. It's not for me. But by the same token, I'm involved in a one-man show that I've written where there is no profanity. So what it does is it offers the audience a chance and a choice. They can come see John Amos do Halley's Comet with their entire family, or they can go see Andrew Dice Clay talk about a little bit of everything and leave the family at home. You know, that's what makes the country great.
His racism does not offend you?
No, because Andrew is offensive to everybody. And I would be offended if he left black people out. I would say, hey, how come you're not picking on us? I mean, what's the problem here? So, see, I like him and I respect him as an artist because I think he's got his finger on the pulse of a certain segment of the audience. And what he's doing, Andrew's not doing anything that a lot of people, the reason they're applauding him is because they're saying the same things, but they're saying them in secret. They're saying them at home. And he has been wise enough to develop a character that gives voice and credence to all these secret thoughts, not unlike Carroll O'Connor's Archie Bunker of some years ago. Carroll, he just sugarcoated his with ignorance. So Andrew wears a leather jacket and smokes a cigarette and combs his hair into a greasy DA, but it's basically the same character. And I don't have any problem with it. I think the people that have a problem with overt racism probably really aren't quite sure who they are, because if they were, they wouldn't be that concerned about another person's conception of who they are, and they wouldn't be that concerned about an Andrew Dice Clay's characterization, which is really predicated on entertainment and nothing more.
That is the most beautiful explanation of Andrew Dice Clay I've ever read or heard, so I thank you for that. And in closing, I'll just wish you all the best with Die Hard 2. I don't think you're going to need too many more good wishes, but anyway, it was fun talking with you, John. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Stop tape. That was a...
Okay,
let's begin.
We got speed?
Yes.
We got speed.
And now?
In a film sense.
And now, more moonlighting.
Bruce, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very good.
You should feel very up.
Yeah, I do. I'm Do I not look up?
Yeah, you do, but I
Okay.
mean, you know, the excitement of the film and everything.
Yeah, I am very excited about it. Yeah.
You should be feeling...
You saw it last night, did you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did indeed. Nice, quiet little drawing room comedy you have there.
Subtle. Subtle movie.
Bruce, for you, now here we have a different director, Rennie Harlan. First one was John McTiernan. One is a Brit, one is from Finland. For you, what was the biggest difference about doing Die Hard 2?
Well, you know, it was a very similar experience. Both Rennie and John are very, very talented. You know, in a technical sense. It was a very very collaborative effort, and it was the same crew. So it was like the family getting together again. You know, we knew what story we wanted to tell and kind of went after it. I think the real challenge was seeing whether or not we could top the first film. And I guess that'll be up to someone else to decide. But I like this film a lot.
Was this one more difficult to make?
Well, it was. It seems like it took longer to shoot. We actually shot 4 separate movies within this movie. We shot my story. We shot the good guy's story. We shot the guys in the tower and the people in the planes and the bad guys. So, and then we had to cut all those stories into one big story. Excuse me. It was a lot harder because we were shooting outside. We were shooting up in the plains. We were shooting in snow at night in very cold weather. But all that's behind us now. So it's easy to say it wasn't that bad.
Do you think that your stunts were harder, or do you feel you took more risks this time?
I don't know if I took more risks. I mean, I think some of the other people who worked on the film would say that I took more risks. I like to do as many stunts as I can. I think that it just adds to the quality of the film. If the audience sees me in there, some things they just wouldn't let me do. But I have a very talented stuntman named Ki Johnson who actually jumped out of a helicopter onto the wing of a 747 while it was taxiing down the runway in the snow. He's a brave kid.
How many times did he do that?
I think once. I think he did that just once. He just did it very well.
But was there anybody saying, you can't do that?
No one said that. We had to rent our own 747 because no one would actually let us do it with their 747. But I mean, I love that stunt. I think it's one of the most exciting stunts in the film. No, we took a lot of chances with this. I mean, there were. I think all the action in this thing is heightened. There's just more stunts, more explosions, more wild things happening on screen.
Bruce, had Die Hard 1 not been the mega hit it was, how would that have affected your career?
I don't know. I might be tending bar now. I might have to gone back to my my old day job. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, about what would have been if this hadn't happened. I really try and stay in the present as much as I can and deal with what's happening now, and that keeps me pretty busy.
But you do feel that Die Hard 1 just really gave your career a jolt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Die Hard 1 got a very, very positive response. A lot of people saw that film in alternative markets, HBO, VHS, and I think all those people who saw that at home were very surprised by it and said, this is a really good film. And I think those people are now going to want to see this film on the big screens, simply because it's it's just a much different experience seeing it in a theater than it is seeing it at home.
Indeed. Bruce, we've used up all our time, but congratulations on the film.
Thank you very much.
I think it will do just dynamite business for you.
Nice to see you again.
And I'm sure your banker's going to be very happy. Willie, I adore Willie. Just, of course, I couldn't be a Texan.
Willie wasn't in it, but
I thought Willie was in it.
no, that was a thing called RIP that was.
Oh, I
that was
thought.
shot after my movie.
Okay. But you worked with Willie also?
No, I've never actually met him.
Oh, I thought
I just love him.
Oh, he's wonderful. Okay. Yeah.
You're from Texas.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
Texas.
Yeah.
I just played Texas.
All right. Oh, I need mostly 2 shots. Oh, yeah? Mostly 2 shots. One time only come in about here up for about 40, 45 seconds, but mostly 2 shots. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Do we have speed?
We have speed.
Well, Bill Sadler, how nice to be sitting here in Los Angeles talking with you.
Nice to see you.
And to congratulate you on your performance in Die Hard 2.
Thank you.
And you're the bad guy. I mean, you're really bad, okay?
Yes, I am.
But as I sit here looking at you, you're mild-mannered, you're pleasant, you're very nice looking. You don't look like a bad guy at all. So now why aren't you playing romantic leads instead of bad guys?
Are you listening, Joel? I don't know. I'll tell you, I've played a lot of bad guys too, and I'm not exactly sure why. I enjoy it, and I'm good at it, but I agree. Why aren't I playing romantic leads? I don't know. I walk into producers' offices, and they just take one look and say, "Oh yeah, murderer." You know, that's Richard Speck, isn't it? You know. So I don't know. It must be the cheekbones or something.
But on the stage now, you play a wide variety of things.
Oh yeah. No, I've played lots of other kinds of human beings before. I think only out here. I recently did a thing for HBO called Tales from the Crypt, where I played an executioner. It was written by Walter Hill, and it was a very strong half-hour piece called The Man Who Was Death. And that one little half-hour piece has done more for my career than I think anything else that I've done, all the years on the Broadway and all of the rest of it, because that brought me to the attention of a film community. But I came to their attention as a bad guy. I mean, he's a murderer. So I don't mind. I mean, I'll be the guy they love to hate for a while. I can live with that for a while.
Your banker is very happy, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
What is this role then that you play in the Dennis Hopper movie?
He's another bad guy, but he's charming, and he's cute, and he's a womanizing. His name is Frank Sutton, and he's a Texas boy who lives in a shack and kind of keeps to himself a lot, eats squirrels and what have you. But he sort of womanizes around town, and he does a little blackmail on the side, kind of supplement his income, But he does it in such a way. It's funny because Dennis was great to work with. Incidentally, I love him, and it was funny because one of the things that he wanted out of that character was he wanted to see the charm. He wanted to see what these women saw in this boy, in this young man, that they fell for him, that they came out and visited him at his shack. And he lives like an animal. I mean, he's like, he's a strong flavor. But Dennis sort of kept pushing for, that there's an innocence. There's like an innocence about him. There's like a charm that we tried to get. And I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not exactly sure how it came out.
When does it come out?
I think it'll be out early fall. I'm not sure.
Who was your role model for your Texas accent?
Oh,
Oh, that's easy. Tom Christopher from Wimberley. Hi, Tom. Actually, I got down there. He was the dialect coach, and he worked with me on the accent for a long time, and I got listening. And Willie Nelson, who I'm a huge fan. And Willie, if you hear this, I wrote a couple of great songs for you, and I want you to listen to them. Just give them a listen. You don't have to like them, okay?
You just do that. You're so comfortable with that Texas accent.
Well, I like it. I fell in love with Texas. I mean, the only problem I had was I'm a vegetarian, and Dennis likes barbecue, so everywhere we went, there was nothing to eat but the pickles in the center of the table. So I lost 15 pounds during the filming of The Hot Spot, and which I then had to put back on for this. As you notice, the hollows. It's funny because Joel hired me and then immediately said, "You got to beef up, kid. Look at, I want to, we're going to see your."
Yes, let's talk about that. Did you know when you went into it that you would have this nude scene?
No.
How did they spring that on you, and what did you do?
Well, it came as a surprise to me. No, in the script it just says there's a half-naked man doing Tai Chi in a hotel room. And during the costume fitting, we had done the rest of the costume, and I turned to Rennie and I said, "What about this hotel room scene? Is he wearing shorts or sweatpants or what?" And Rennie said, "Well, I was thinking that maybe he is nude." Oh, you were thinking that, were you, Rennie? Well, then you better be thinking about getting me a trainer, Rennie. I'm not putting my butt in front of millions of viewers unless it looks better. So, anyway, it wasn't in bad shape at the time, but I wanted it to look good.
Well, it does look good, and it's not salacious, and I don't think you need to be embarrassed about it, Bill.
Well, why am I blushing? Thank you. I like my butt too.
One last question. Snowmobile scene.
Yes.
Was that scary?
Yeah. They didn't let the actors do any of the tricky stunts like when they crash and burn and things like that. But we did get to train on them, so that we could handle them well.
You got to actually drive it yourself?
Oh yeah. There are whole sections of that chase it's actually me, and it's actually the actors involved running down, barreling down this highway behind a camera truck with like exhaust fumes in our eyes, unable to see where we're going. But it was exciting. It wasn't scary really. That part was exciting.
Well, we've used up all of our time and maybe a little bit more, but I've enjoyed meeting you and talking with you, and I hope you will come back to Texas and we'll find you some veggies. I know where they all are.
Really?
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
It's like it's bigger. There's more action. It's louder, and I think it really satisfies what people went to the first film for.
We were talking a little bit ago, and you were making note that in a lot of ways this has become a sequel town.
Yeah, they're popular in the business. They're popular for the people who make money. A sequel's a different thing, It's not really a movie. It's another chapter in another movie. This is like the second part of the first film, And we all really did this film because we got such a great response to the first film that this film really was made for that audience. The first film really wasn't critically well received. These action genre films really take you say, well, it's not this and it's not that, and all that. But they are very entertaining.
Read you something, and you give me a comment if you would. This one comes from writer Stephen D'Souza. Quote, "If we're lucky, we will do for air travel what Jaws did for swimming. Is that the objective?
Well, it wasn't the objective of the actors. Die Hard, the first film, was compared to a roller coaster ride. The second film is a much bigger roller coaster. It's more scary. It's just got that kind of hang-on sensibility to it. I don't know. I mean, I was really scared when I saw Jaws. I did not go in the ocean for a couple of weeks. Yeah. Air travel and airline crashes are probably the single most scary thing in the American people's minds. I mean, God, the news just has shown us so many horrible crashes. Fortunately, this film is just a big cartoon.
But most airport officials didn't see it that way, did they?
Well, they're officials. They have to take an official stance, I guess.
You think when they see it, they will have a different opinion than what they were led to believe it is?
I think we were pretty straight with them. I think, we told them early on that this is, it certainly isn't a commercial for airline travel. It certainly isn't a film about, fly the friendly skies. This is it's a larger than life story that just happens to be set in and around airlines. But God, is that our responsibility to not portray real life, to not use what's out there? What's more scary, seeing this film and knowing that it's a film, or watching the news and watching planes crash down the runway and that there are live human beings there? That scares me 100 times more than seeing the scariest scene in this film. There are some very scary things in this film about air travel, and I think what we have done is played out the fantasy of what if.
The film was released to positive reviews, with critics praising the film's action sequences and tone, while criticising some elements of the plot. Die Hard 2 was a major box office success, grossing $240 million and doubling the earnings of its predecessor, and finishing as the year's 7th highest grossing film.
Willis is asking himself, why does this always have to happen to me in Die Hard 2, one of the new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. We'll also take a look at the new Tom Cruise stock car racing film, Days of Thunder. I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
And I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Our first film is Die Hard 2, and why beat around the bush? I think Die Hard 2 is the best movie of this early summer season. We've had a lot of mindlessly violent action pictures this summer, a lot of brainless sequels. Die Hard 2 obviously could have fallen into both of those traps. However, instead, it is a tremendous piece of commercial American movie making, once again starring Bruce Willis as a gutsy cop who finds himself in a grand mess, this time at Washington's Dulles Airport, where hired mercenaries have taken over control of the airport's runways as part of an effort to liberate a captured South American strongman drug dealer who is arriving by plane. The bad guy in charge, called Colonel Stewart, is a former CIA operative who decides to show his power by giving phony landing instructions to an arriving London plane. He'll crash it, and then they'll know he's in charge. Bruce Willis, however, leaps into action.
There's somebody out there.
It's McLean.
600 feet.
Looking good, Windsor. Now watch it. 30-knot crosswinds and the runway is icy.
Airspeed 125.
Oh boy, we've got you.
Fuel pressure good.
That's good.
We've got you.
Dropping.
The magic of this movie is that Willis is quite convincing as the lone soldier, triumphing over stupid bureaucrats and tracking down the bad guys. He finds their headquarters near the airport, and a snowmobile chase follows. Out to assist Bruce Willis is an Army captain played by John Amos, who has a grudging admiration for the way Willis has been risking his life.
McLean, you showed some out there, man. Thanks. Now show some good sense. Let the pros handle this.
Die Hard 2 is similar to the James Bond films in having its hero go through all kinds of major physical stunts. Here Willis hitches a ride with a TV news crew helicopter to get to the plane that would take the drug baron to freedom.
Bring me down! Get it low! Keep over the wing! Lower!
I really mean that comparison with the James Bond films in terms of entertainment value. Die Hard 2 combines big-scale special effects and also quiet moments with its hero and a solid sense of humor in the style of the Bond pictures. Director Rennie Harlin, originally from Finland, I think he made Nightmare on Elm Street 4 previous to this. Here he's making his major filmmaking debut. He deserves congratulations, I think, for creating a convincing world at the airport. Great special effects involving the control tower and the landing field, and Bruce Willis, that solitary figure out in the snow at night, fighting against the big jets and hordes of mercenaries. Doug Richardson and Steven D'Souza have written a witty script, too. I was mightily impressed by every aspect of this movie. All I can say after having thought that this summer was not that special is thank you to all involved.
I liked it very much, too. It's not the best movie of the summer. It's not as original as Dick Tracy, for one thing. But it is a very good movie, and one of the things that's best about it, and also scariest about it, is how convincing it is in terms of its aircraft footage. There was a crash in this movie that looked all too convincingly real. I think that this movie is going to be severely edited before it's shown in in-flight entertainment systems. And there's another scene where Willis ejects from a cockpit.
Fabulous.
And you remember the scene? He flies up until his face is a foot from the camera. Like this, and then back down again, and you think, what a place to put, you know it's special effects, but still, what a place to put the point of view. What a great shot. Thank you for going to the trouble of giving us this shot. And I agree with you that the movie, from beginning to end, for my money, is way superior to the original Die Hard, which...
Oh, I like that too, but this is...
It's good, but it's fun, you know.
This is really something special. I sat there aghast with pleasure. Is that possible?
No, but anyway, I know what you're trying to say, yes.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the first shot outside the control tower, and there's special effects involved there too. This is a terrific achievement.
Now there are enormous holes in the plot of this movie, of course, including the fact that you wouldn't have the airplane circling for 2 hours, and they could all, of course, use their own radios to reach other ground radio stations, so that the entire crisis at the airport is completely nonsensical, but what the heck?
Well, I bought the picture. That was the one thing that I was thinking, is that they could obviously get to other airports, the other planes that are being held there. But other than that, I think this is superb.
Okay, coming up next, Bill Cosby is Ghost Dad. Sometimes you see him.
The film debuted on video in the United States on January 31st, 1991, and it was the most rented video in the first week above Navy SEALs, and sold a record 500,000 units for rental. The film's score is composed by Michael Kamen, which reuses few themes from the first film score and excerpts from Sibelius' poem Finlandia incorporated into the score. Die Hard 2 Die Harder is a side-scrolling first-person rail shooter released for the Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64 and MS-DOS in 1992, published by Grand Slam Video and developed by Teartex.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.